Another team who had a big response, Frank, would be the Minnesota Wild. And there was 3 first-period goals. They came out of the gates just flying, and Kirill Kaprizov eventually finished off the hat trick. What stood out to you in the Wild's 6-2 win over the Blues?
Well, Kaprizov getting the first Wild hat trick in franchise history in the playoffs was big, but it wasn't just the 3 goals. It was really his game as a whole, because that was one of the real alarming parts to me from game 1 was how good of a job St. Louis had done taking away Kaprizov's time and space. And in addition to that, he just looked like a player that was really frustrated through game 1. To see him come back out in game 2 the way that he did, I think is a huge boost for the Minnesota Wild. Marc-Andre Fleury as well. We talked a little bit in yesterday's show about the idea of the confidence factor with Marc-Andre Fleury, how maybe in the past, going back to the Matt Murray Pittsburgh Cup runs, going back to Pete DeBoer in Vegas with the sword in his back, that I think maybe there was this question of, does the coach trust me? Is he confident in me? And the fact that they went back to Marc-Andre Fleury in game 2 when they could have easily pivoted to Cam Talbot, I think is a huge feather in the cap of Fleury in terms of that confidence moving forward. And he rewards them with a pretty big effort in game 2. He was outstanding, especially through the first 40 minutes in that game. And also really the way in which the Wild remained patient. You know, the first 10 minutes of game 2, the Blues really dominated play, and it looked like the Wild were on their heels a bit. They took advantage of a big mistake, an error, not even really Robert Bortuzzo's fault. He breaks his stick. It explodes on him, and they capitalized, the Wild did, pretty quickly in putting the puck behind Ville Husso. And really after that, the game changed. So the Wild now get back to level ground. I think we all believe this is going to be a long series. And to see it play out with 2 really lopsided games to start, it kind of really makes you wonder what it's going to look like when the series gets to St. Louis.
Yeah, you mentioned, they get that 1 goal and momentum flipped, and they were able to kind of take over the game from there. One thing I looked at as well was their power play. They go 2 for 3 with the man advantage. In game 1, they went 0 for 6. They had 3 power play opportunities in the first period of game 1. And you looked at how they responded after finally getting a goal. And I kind of sit there and go, man, maybe if they would have gotten a power play goal early and gotten some momentum earlier in game 1, maybe it would have been a little bit of a different story in the series opener. But regardless, the series is evened up at 1 as it heads over to St. Louis.